Force, waiting for my guest. He was waiting for me. He was waiting for me, so I had a little technical difficulties. So, any rate, Johnny Bunting Jr. This right.
Yo.
What's up, bro? That was my fault.
Yeah, I'm like the host did not let you join.
Yo, I had everything set up, and then my daughter came with her tablet blasting, so I had to relocate.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Welcome. It's Johnny Bunting Jr. 25 Ways to Make 25K, where I interview brothers and sisters who are about their paper, about their guap, about that cash, making things happen. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Shannon Holmes. You really need no introduction. People know who you are. Be more careful. That's your
That's
name
a
rings some bells.
that's a good thing.
Your name rings some bells. I know you've been interviewed 100,000 times.
Nah, it just seems like that.
Well, I would like to get to know you, so to speak. So, give me a little bit about your background. Like, take me to your
Um,
childhood.
yeah, that's a good question. You know, raising a two-parent home, uh, private house. You know, everybody think you live in a private house, you rich. That doesn't mean that. It's like that doesn't mean everybody in the project is poor.
Right.
It means that my father had the down payment to put down on the house. That's what it means. I mean, because we had hard times in this house, but especially my cousins, or people outside looking in, they thought we were rich. No, we wasn't rich. We just had enough. We was happy with what we had.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And as for me being the last of six siblings. So when each of my older siblings, fled the flock, you know what I'm saying? I was able to get more. So I probably had the best opportunity in life, even than they did. Even though we all had good opportunities, but mine probably was a little bit better than theirs. You know what I'm saying? Because I was the last, and I was the beneficiary of them leaving.
Right. I get it.
So it was more to go around after they left. But even still, with that said, you still squander opportunities. You come up in a climate where things happen unexpectedly. And I always say I don't think my older brothers are smarter than me. I think they make better choices than me. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? They do. Because I had the same opportunities, but I didn't make the same choices.
Right.
But there's a difference. It's the individual. So your parents can raise you up to do the right thing, but when you do wrong, you do that on your own. That's your
Right.
decision. It's just fact. It's a common fact. It's a decision. So my father's not a street guy. Uh, Working man. You know what I'm saying? From Georgia. My mother from South Carolina. He worked hard to get everything he got, and he once told me, he said, "Yo, I don't gotta look over my shoulder for nothing, cause I ain't did nothing to nobody." You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And those are the things you hear that growing up, and he's indoctrinating you with the things that got him through. But as times change, that talk got to change too.
Right.
So the same things that worked on my brothers will not work on me. I come from a military family. My father went to the military. My older brother went to the military. My big brother went to the military. So 10 years separates me and my oldest sibling, which is my oldest brother. Then probably 9 for my sister. Then probably 8 for my other sister. Then there's a gap for my brother. It's a 5-year gap. So he's 5 years older than me. And then it's me and my twin sister. And she's older than me by a few minutes. You know what I'm saying? So my twin sister Shanta. So a lot of people who don't even know me, they don't even know I got brothers and sisters because if you wasn't from this area, you didn't go to school with me, it's not something I talk about. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? because it's just really not something. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I wasn't able. I didn't have the luxury of going home, run home, and get my brothers. They was never there. They were they were half a world away.
Right.
In Korea, Germany, wherever. Trying to better their lives or save their lives, whatever the case it was with them. And here I was, having a pretty good childhood, going, first you can't leave the block and then you're able to leave the block
Right.
and then it's like, don't hang with that kid. And it was this kid, my father used to say, yo, don't hang with him, he going to jail. Well, little did he know me and him went to jail. You know what I'm saying? He might have beat me there, but I
Right.
definitely was there. You know what I'm saying? So uh, we coming up age, a happy little childhood, fights and stuff like that. It was nothing, never really nothing malicious. We didn't want to kill each other growing up. You know what I'm saying? So we might fight, but we live to fight another day.
Right.
It didn't come to that. It's come to hands. Yo, you beat me that day, I'm gonna fight you again. You know what I'm saying? Another day. And that's what it was growing up. So it was just, that's why I always say, like, if you're not of a certain age, I don't think you can beat me. Because I watch these kids fight and they didn't have no physical confrontations.
Right. Right.
So I'm like, you're not 35 and up now. There's no way you can beat me. There's no way. I
Yeah.
see how y'all
They don't
fight.
even know how to fight.
Yeah. Got their hands down. I'm like, come on, bro. You kidding me? But anyway, I wasn't never like the most popular kid. Never. I was never the most popular kid, but people like me. I'm a likable dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm a good friend. But I also think that in order to be a good friend, you had to have a good friend. And I did. You have to be shown the way how to move.
Right.
So my first good friend came in junior high school. We had to fight him. He was a bully. You probably know him. He went with your
What,
cousin.
what junior high school you went to?
135.
Okay.
So you might know Ordain. He went with Pamela.
Who?
So Ordain
Yeah.
Williams.
Yeah.
So she's a short guy, but ultra aggressive guy. Like he come from a tough block. That 214th block it's like murderers row
All
on a
right.
low. Like it
But
was some tough kids on that block.
before we go any further, say how you know me.
I know you through your cousin, and when you came home from jail. I think our paths crossed before that
Right.
because your grandmother lived down the block, and I know your family.
Right.
So
Know my whole family, my whole
yeah,
household.
exactly. I mean, I
Right.
got pictures with your family, and I was like 5 years old with tube socks on, bro.
Because y'all older than me.
Yeah.
So you probably went
So
to
Pam,
135 with my sister.
your sister is who? Pam or
Bridget's
Bridget?
my sister.
Yeah, Bridget. So Pam
Pam's
and
my
Bridget,
aunt.
I know Brit, but it's Pam and Bridget. So it's when I
Right.
say that, it's no differentiation
Right.
with
You
them.
think they're sisters. They grew up like
Exactly.
sisters. Yeah.
They don't look like sisters, but it's just Pam and Bridget.
Right.
That's how it rolled off your tongue. It was never no separation with them.
Right.
Who Pam, so I never looked at I never looked at Bridget as Pam's own, or whatever the case was. I never looked at them like that. They was
Right.
just my friends. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so I had to fight this kid. And he was like, he said, Joe, he said to me, I was slow off the porch. I wasn't, I had a little, not uneventful, first, because my father was who my father was, so I couldn't do certain things. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest, he was a tough guy, big guy, like James from Good Times. That's how my father was built. Broad shoulders, military dude,
Right.
taking this shit. So this kid says to me, he says, yo, I got an egg with your name on it. You know how we play in New York, Halloween egg.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said, Joe, he was a little faster than me. He was on the drug block. He was, this and that. He was just like, he was active out there already. You know what I'm saying? So I says to him, I says, yo, you hear me with that egg? We fighting. I promised him that. He got off his bike, calmly walked up to me, and smacked me on top of the head with that egg. And like I promised, we fought. I got the best of him. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
I was like, yo, can't nobody shorter than me beat me. That's how I always thought. Like, you can't beat me. Like, my arm's too long. Like, boom, boom. But he was a wrestler, so he tried to wrestle me, and I had to just counter him. You know what I'm saying? So, but and then I thought it was still beef, right? So I mean, going home. I'm gonna tell you another story. Going home, they caught me on 219th. They jumped me. They jumped me. Him and this other kid named Sydney, but it wasn't nothing malicious.
Right.
Just a couple little punches, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I go to school a couple of days later, and I'm having an altercation. I had an altercation in school with this white kid. So he breaks out of school, go get his uncle, his cousin, because it was very racially heated in that area at that time.
Yeah.
Growing up,
You talk about
you couldn't even go
Harlem,
over there.
Pelham Parkway.
Pelham Parkway, Allison Avenue.
Yeah.
If you made it to the 2 train, you were safe.
Yeah.
But anywhere back, that was the white people's area.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't play that. You know what I'm saying? Yugoslavians and all that type of stuff, right? So he cut out of school and got his uncles and stuff. So as I'm getting on the bus, they try to snatch me up. My man like, yo, my man get my man got like, yo, get off him. And he dragged me on the bus. They're trying to pull me off. You know what I'm saying? And so I can remember one thing this girl said to me when I got on the bus. She said, damn, Shannon, I ain't know you had that many friends. And I said to myself, me either. But, and that was my first taste of the block, the neighborhood. They came to my defense
Right.
when I needed them the most. So I can understand why kids join gangs. Gangs are open 24/7. 24 streets are open 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The
Right.
school not. Your mentors is not. You don't have access to them 24 hours a 7. So that was like, damn, I felt kind of good. Like the camaraderie that was there back then was
Right.
like real. Like, yo, this was my brothers in arms. Like, yo, if I got a problem, if I got to jump out this, I'm going to go get them and we're going to get some get back. So I was attracted to that. So, as I still playing my little basketball, going, playing ball. I had little hoop dreams, but, whether it was justified or not, I still had them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Playing my
Yeah.
dreams.
Yo.
So, them kids was more into football. I was more into basketball. I played football with them, but, really, wasn't my thing. But, so from that, it just led to a camaraderie with me and that kid. We just became close, we became tight, and stuff like that. So he just wanted to see where I was at. Was again, it was never nothing malicious. He wanted to see where I was at with mine. And you get tested like that. That's
You
just
talking about
streets.
ordained?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we became tight. You know what I'm saying? So slowly you go further and further from your block. You get meet different. You go start going to junior high school. You meet a different crowd of people because you go elementary school. You meet people from your neighborhood that you probably
Right.
know all your life. A
Right.
few people who not from there might transfer in there, but other than that, it's mostly the same kids you've seen all your life in the neighborhood whose
Right.
parents got houses or wherever they live at. You know what
You
I'm
went to
saying?
78?
78. Went to 78, 135, and Evander.
Okay.
So I said this on another podcast. I always believe like who you go to school with dictates a lot, what you're gonna be in life. So I always wondered to myself, like, the next block is a totally different school zone. It'd have been 76, Olinville, and then maybe 135 for me. You understand what I'm saying?
76 is towards White Plains.
76 is up on Bronxwood,
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
not too far, like one block up from Burke. It's on Bronxwood and AD Avenue.
Oh, it's near Eastchester.
No, all the way across though. It's near Burke Avenue, Bronxwood. You got to go past Evander, and you go
Right.
up. When you go up that hill, it's right there. That's 76, PS
Oh, okay.
76.
All right.
So had I lived like a block over, I would be in that school zone with them. You know what I'm saying? But I had known those kids because how I would know those kids was I would go to Olinville Park to play basketball. I was playing video games, on Bronxwood, and I knew those cats, and that's how I knew those cats through those type of things. They're going to, or even 121, whoever was a basketball when I went. 121 Magenta. So yeah, I got an odd name. So a lot of people know me. Like a lot of people like me. A lot of people would say to me, "Yo, Shannon, you cool, but you're man." And I would never let them divide me from my friend. That's
Right.
divide and conquer. Like, nah, you not. And sometimes I had told my ex one time. I said her son went out and got jumped. And I said to him, I said, you know why that happened? Because you can't be going in dudes' neighborhoods and getting nice girls. Nigga, dudes don't like that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's one thing. And another thing is you gotta know people. All you need is that one kid in the crowd that knows you and says, nah, that's my man. And because he said that and that's his people and they want to jump you, they're not gonna get you.
Right.
You need to know, and that was me. I knew a lot of people from White Plains to wherever it was. I knew. I always, played ball, went and got runs and all that type of stuff. So before I really got clicked in with anybody, I was just all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Just having a good time. It was pretty much good. And then crackhead. You know what I'm saying? So with crackhead, we started seeing dudes. And I'm part time and on the block. I'm just out there like maybe playing football, manhunt, tag, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? On Boston Road. And when that hit, we started seeing dudes that had nothing, having everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Coming back with 190s and BMWs, whatever. And to us, that's those are riches. That's
Yeah.
work. That's valuable to in our eyes. You're like, damn, like, not knowing we could get that same stuff that they have in time.
Right.
But we didn't want that in time. You know what I'm saying? We were from that first generation microwave. We wanted do hit that button
That's
and
right.
we
Instant
wanted that food
gratification.
ready. Yep, it's the gratification. And a lot of that's just another bad decision. If only you wait. So a lot of that, so my father could probably see me straying and see me hanging out. I'm not hanging out so much, but see me because I still, had strict parents. You know what I'm saying? So I still and dudes used to always be like, "Yo, Shannon, how you do what you do with your father like that?" I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? I was just growing and just seeing more and wanting more. So I think for me, when that epidemic hit, when the crack epidemic hit, we started seeing it, and dudes was coming out of town with these stories, coming back from out of town. It was just like it was no different than being in the Boy Scouts, and your scoutmaster is telling you something about what he did in the woods.
Right.
But these dudes is telling us what they've done in other cities.
Right.
So we hanging on their word, we listening. We like, yo, of course, natural instinct is we want to go. So when we was coming up, it was not like how it is now with these young dudes. They're very disrespectful. They do not like respect their elders or nothing like that. They just think they got it all figured out. And they don't. But you gotta leave them alone. So they was like we were like more like, yo, that's such and such. And when such and such when dude had a name in the streets back then, it was real. It wasn't no when he was big such and such, he was big. When I used to go out of town and see these dudes who they looked up to, I was like, that dude? You know what I'm saying? Or if he was shoot 'em up Joe, he was really shoot 'em up Joe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was. These dudes, and the difference between now and then, they taught you how to move. These people now on the streets, they don't show you nothing. They just kick you out there, give you a gun and say, make a movie. So it was different morals and codes. And I grew up in the era where men were men. That's I could say. Like they was like people, they did stuff like cookouts and gave back to the community, even though they were selling drugs. You don't see that no more. These dudes is
Right.
selfish. These dudes is scamming out their ass and they won't give you a pair of sneakers to a little kid in the neighborhood.
Right.
A pair of old sneakers. So it's a different set of core values than it was then. You know what I'm saying? It was family. Like it was like, the block was like family. Even though it was different energy towards different people in the block, but let some beat pop off.
Right.
They moving. We moving as a unit. I might not like him. I might not like him, but we got to hold each other down. And that became the same way, even in that same mentality, transformed to jail. Like I've never did a bit with anybody out from my block, so maybe once in the county jail up in Pennsylvania, but nothing really hardcore. Where I had this, yo, I gotta hold this dude down. Can't nothing happen to him. Not
Right.
on my watch. So as a crack epidemic, I started dibbling and dabbling. So I'm coming home from playing basketball, East Chester Projects one day, and my man is like, yo, sit next to me. He said, yo, chill. I said, I'm hungry. I'm going home. I'm starving. He's like, y'all buy you anything you want. Just sit right here. Sit on the stoop next to me. So I sat with him and just watched what he did, and it seemed so innocent to me because I didn't have to touch anything.
Right.
And you kind of like not you feel less guilty of your involvement in it. If you ain't touching nothing, I ain't doing nothing. That's your mentality. You actually are doing something. You're involved. So I'm watching out for them. Let me know if the police come. Let me know if anybody go by my stash. I don't gotta touch none, and I was
Where you
cool
was
with
at?
that.
Hillside?
It was Hillside.
Okay.
It's not even called Hillside no more. It's Eastchester Gardens or some shit like that, right? So I'm cutting through the air. You know what I'm saying, playing my ball, whatever. So after a while, it just became, yo, you gonna be outside anyway. You on the block playing anyway. Why not get a couple dollars?
Right.
You get a couple dollars, so I might start buying little stuff. But I had type of parents where I can't bring that shit in this house.
Right, right.
I had to leave it at my man's house in Hillside. You know what I'm saying? So it got to the point they started counting sneakers. Where you get them sneakers from? Yo, bro. So I'm in the bathroom one time. Cause I never really closed my door growing up. You know what I'm saying? For some odd reason, I never really closed my unless I was come out the shower or something like that. But my door
Right.
never closed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in the bathroom. So I have to go to the bathroom to count money. So I'm in the bathroom counting money, and I put the money, in the back of the toilet, the thing on the toilet, the thing. And I get up because I'm counting money in front of me, not knowing I left something in back of me.
Right.
Man, I get up, leave about $200 or $300 over there. My father comes in like, "Who money is this?" I don't know. Yo, bro. Yo, he was just like he commanded that kind of respect. So I always just lie to him. He always say, "Yo, you think you're the only person that ever lied to your father?" And actually, I did. You think you were doing something slick, but you're not even seeing your parents as people anymore. You understand what I'm saying? So I was
Yeah.
just trying to lie to save my ass. And my father was seeing me going left a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And he would say to me like, "Yo, the things you have, you can have them in time." You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and wasn't trying to hear that. I was like, "Yo, he don't know nothing." I was doing the same thing these kids do to me. You know what I'm saying? Tune you out like, he don't know, but he do know. You know what I'm saying? He just getting caught up in it. But he do know. But you know what I'm saying? So it was like a generation gap between me and him. To how I felt like his information was like he didn't know nothing. He didn't
Right.
get to be that age by not knowing nothing. You feel what I'm saying? So
Of
I
course.
started delving deeper and deeper. And he's told me one day, he said, "Yo, Shannon, there's only three things ready for you." This is like I turned 16. Jail, the army, or the graveyard. What's it gonna be? You know what I'm saying? And when you young, you feel invincible. You like death. Like, what's that?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't know too many people you died, but the longer you live, the more you are going to be exposed to death if you live long enough. Or you're going to die or they're going to die. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, with that being said, I'm like, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. So I'm coming like 16, caught a little BS case, little stolen car cases, and then I caught that. I think about 17, I caught a drug case, a direct sale. You know what I'm saying? Somebody ran me. It was the first year TNT, the Tactical Narcotics Squad in New York City. They unleashed that on New York.
Yeah.
So, I never really got caught. On the only charge I ever case I ever caught on the block. You know what I'm saying? But growing up, it's like, yo, the worst thing you could be is a rat. Rats went down south, never to be seen again. Not like unlike today. They come around the block and dare you to tell them. They got tough snitches now. There was no such thing when I was growing up. When such and such told, if he told, he went down south, never to be seen again. We
Yep.
never, what happened to Jess?
Sometimes the whole family leave.
Exactly, because that was the repercussions that they were faced. That they couldn't get you, they get your loved ones.
Yep.
Like he wasn't cool, your brother wasn't exempt. You told, you got to go too. So as I started getting older, still dibbling and dabbling. I'm not full time in it, because my residence, my pop's not allowing it. Like so, doing worse and worse. School's not interesting me anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, and dude started making that move out of town to DC. That's when the DC move popped off, like '86. So they like, yo, we going out of town. You hearing it, everybody's going out. Some of my little friends is going and different crews and different teams, and they with this one and they with that one. And so around that time, I had a family issue. I had got jumped by my cousins, right? And yeah, it was crazy, bro. Crazy.
Your real cousins?
My real cousins, they like third cousins, shit like that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Not my aunt's sons and shit like that, but
Right.
my father's cousins' sons and shit like that. So they jumped me, right? So I come back to the block, and my man says, "So what the fuck happened to you?" I said, "Yo, niggas jumped me." He said, "What?" The nigga gave me the joint, like, "Yo, huh? Get them niggas. Them niggas ain't your cousins. Niggas jumped you." He gives me the blick, and I got smoke coming out my ears. I see them niggas. And I'm like, some just say, yo, don't do it, Shannon. If you do it, it's no coming back from this family beef, bro. You gonna divide the family forever with this shit. I was like, nah, I went back, gave him the blame. You know what I'm saying? So my father comes like the next day, he sees me like, yo, what happened to you? I'm like, nothing. I would never want to run to my father about anything. So he said, stay your ass in the house. I'm gonna find out what happened. Not knowing this motherfucker go right to the source who did it. And they just spin it. Remember, you told me if you see me selling, see him selling drugs to stop him. Yeah. I said, oh shit.
Oh, wow.
And he eats that shit, right? He believes that shit. So I said, all right. So that was the out I was looking for. I needed to get the fuck out of there. So I went to DC one weekend and never came back home. And that's how I got out of town.
Wow.
Never came back home, started living out. They moved my clothes to my sister's house. I was more than happy. I was like, that school is always going to be there. This money might not. And again, the things that we thought were wealth wasn't wealth. I mean, the niggas at the top was getting money, but not so much the niggas at the bottom. We might have been getting 500 to 1,000 a week. We could have got that working a job. We out there risking our lives. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so DC was just like, how can I say it was fun, but it was dangerous too.
Yeah.
I've never,
Really
I've
dangerous.
never, I've never felt danger like that in my life. Like, Jay Z's like, I was just with him yesterday. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dudes was going like that. Like, but it was a lot. The gunplay was coming from the New Yorkers at first, and then them dudes got it together and started mounting counter. It was like being in Iraq at one point in time. So I can remember like leaving the house and my man like, yo, well, take that thing with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it was serious like that. Like, yo, that's how we was moving. Like, yo, you had to have it on you. You know what I'm saying? Because they would leave you dead and stinking. You got to think about it. Dudes was killing dudes, cousins, brothers, uncles, and they were sitting in them jails. And when they came home from jail, they was like, yo, we send these niggas back. We want these niggas to fuck up out of here in a body bag. They start sending niggas home in a body bag. You understand what I'm saying? So it was fun, but it was dangerous at the same time. And DC was it's very easy to learn, very small, smaller in the Bronx, so it's way smaller in the Bronx. So it's just certain arteries to go north to west or east or north to south or south to west and stuff like that. But it also again it was exciting. You know what I'm saying? So you're not even understanding that you risking your life. You starting to see death. Now we starting to see death. You starting to see the pecking order that's starting to be established in DC. You're starting to see dudes become killers. The people who are willing to do the most rose to the highest positions because they were willing to do the most for that money. And some niggas even lost their fucking mind out there for that money. You know what I'm saying? But I was always glad I never compromised myself over no money. No way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't doing it. I wasn't doing it.
So what you
There's
mean
no.
by they lost their mind for the money?
They was willing to do whatever they had to do for the money. Kill. You know what I'm saying? Kill over trivial things. You know what I'm saying? And people that weren't necessarily doing it in New York, they came out there and became who they became. And after you go down that road, it ain't no coming back.
Overturned, yeah.
Ain't no coming back from that. You such and such now, and you going with that. You know what I'm saying? People like the respect that they got from that. Their names ringing bells. So like we had young dudes in every crew, so we knew who was doing what. We didn't talk around them, but we talked amongst each other.
Right.
And I always say, like, it's things that happen down there that just stay there. And they had to. Because it's no statute of limitations on murder.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So and that's what it was. So DC was definitely like a big time learning experience. Like it was just like, it was danger at every turn, but it was also, like I said, it was fun. And what you exposed to that money and you may not be necessarily get it, you get addicted to it.
Yeah.
It's no different than a drug addiction, bro. When
And
you addicted to money,
and not just the money,
it's the
the
lifestyle.
power, the power, the way people start respecting you. It's all that is addictive, and that's a part of the life because you could be the low end of the totem pole, but the whole block respect you. Your pockets ain't nothing, but everybody know who you are. You feel, oh yeah,
Yeah, just because maybe just because who you running with.
right,
So therein lies that, man. So like it was dudes in there that that were responsible for my life, to be honest. And me and my man was having this conversation one time. He said, "Yo, people don't really realize how tight we are." He said, "Because one point in time, I was responsible for your life, and you was responsible for mine. Because we was in a crack spot, and I had the door." And my man told me, "Yo, I had to have the gun behind the door." He said, "Put your foot by the door. If they push through your foot, you know what it is. Hit them." You know what I'm saying? And that's what he used to tell me. You know what I'm saying? So he used to serve him, but I had the door. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we had. That's what we were doing out there. Some dudes was out in the Jacks in the Hub. We had a nice little spot. You know what I'm saying? But I would go out to the Jacks in the Hood when the money wasn't flowing to the spot. I would go out, get in the car, and go to the money because it was just coming like that. It was just astronomical money that I never really seen like that before, never seen before since. And you get caught up trying to chase that. I think that having a move like that the first time was the worst thing that could happen to somebody that's a drug dealer or a hustler because you constantly chase that same money. Whether it's there or not, you're still looking for it. You're still trying to come up on that same little block or that same little lick or that same little score. So that was so as I'm not writing yet, but I'm seeing things, I'm being made aware of things, and I'm living this lifestyle. So really, I'm collecting data, no different than your phone.
right.
I'm collecting
Soaking it
data,
up,
like,
right.
you know, to accurately describe a shooting or a murder, you have to be around those type of things. I got to make you feel what I feel as a writer. I'm not writing yet. I have no inclination on what I want to do. So I wind up I got caught twice. I got bailed out once, and the next time I stayed in because they put a hold on me. So from there, 18 years old, I got 8 years. For me, that was a lifetime.
That's a
You
lot
know,
for
yeah,
18.
8 years. Yeah, you never really had it's my first state, and I'm out of town. Compound that. You get no visits, bro.
Right.
You ain't got the luxury, you know what I'm saying? So bam. So give me 8 years. So I wound up doing like 3.5. But when you get in those prisons, you trying to be a bigger and better criminal. That shit ain't out my system.
Right.
Now I'm meeting Baltimore dudes. Now Baltimore dude is nothing on this earth like a Baltimore dude. He's the closest thing to New York you ever gonna get. Because a lot of dudes from Baltimore got families in New York, a lot of dudes from New York got families in Baltimore. So dudes might spend a summer up there, we might spend a summer down there. It's interactive. So, and I just met some good dudes, and it was like, yo, when you get out, hit me up. I got out and hit them up, and that's how I got to Baltimore. Still wasn't writing yet, but when I get to Baltimore, Baltimore got this profound effect on me. I'm seeing things that I've never seen before in my life, just like poverty, drug use, like it's like depressing out there. So just as recently, right, I had my man with me. My man do his thing or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Did his thing, and he says to me, he says, "Yo, we've been here an hour, and I ain't seen nobody on the street smile yet." I said, "Wow." Yo. So I was seeing things in Baltimore like, okay, I seen the cops beat this fiend up, a female fiend, yo, bro. He beat this lady so bad, which made me say to myself, what would he do to me? I had never seen a female get a cop beat a female unless it was from another female cop. He was beating her like he was giving her the business. Yo, bro. And it was just so many things like, okay, one time we walk in and a helicopter come. God bless the dead with my man Navon. Was I with Navon and Toy? God bless the dead, both. One died in DC, one got killed in DC, one got killed in Baltimore. They didn't die, they were killed. So we walk in and I see the helicopters. And my man like, yo, don't look up. It's a spotlight on us. It's like the top of the utility poles that high. It's flying that low.
Wow.
My man like, yo, don't look up. Keep walking. Keep walking. Because if you look up, they're going, you know what I'm saying, they're going to get you stopped, all that type of stuff. So that was just shocking. Just that whole culture down there. It was like one time I can remember we was hustling out this lady house, and like her son pulled up and like about, no, I'm gonna say about 15 dudes. They get money. Uh, Pele jacket, soda club, got their whips outside, and we hustling out. I couldn't understand that shit.
Yeah.
And we hustling out his mother's house.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, these niggas gonna kill us. Like, yo, when we walked out, he let us walk up out of there though. Like, you know what I'm saying? He must have understood. Like, that could have never happened to me, bro. If my mother was only like that nigga.
Mm-mm.
Nah. But it was just strange things like that. Just seeing what she was seeing. And I was like, God damn, like this is crazy. So Baltimore had a profound effect on me. So what would happen from there is still not writing, caught a couple more bits, caught another bit, went back to jail. Go back to now I'm in PA locked up. I meet a kid in that PA jail that just changed my life. And so we just talking about writing and stuff like that. And because I never wanted to read his books, I wanted to be the first me, not the second him. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe like when you start writing, you're formative, just like when you start any creative journey, whether it be painting, writing, music. You got people that you look up to, and you're informative. For me, I want to learn from the masters, not somebody next to me,
Let me stop you. You said you want to be the first me, not the second. Say that again.
not the second him.
Okay.
So if
The
I would have
first.
read his book, I'd have been influenced by him.
Okay.
So I wanted to find myself. I had to find my voice. Like every singer has to find their voice.
Now I understand what you're saying.
And for me, I found my voice in the cell. When you hear what you're writing in your head, to me, that's finding your voice. And you're like, damn, did I say that? That should sound good. So you get to thinking you feeling yourself to somebody, yo, that shit was fire. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, you said that shit. So like you get to, cause writing is the ultimate test. Is you one on one against yourself. You gotta be vague about what you don't know and expand on what you do. Because people can spot a phony a mile away. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just like, so the kid inspired me. I go to the library, get a book about writing books because I want to know what are the rules. I know I don't speak the King's English. I know I kind of know what the audience I'm writing to. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking out there. Back when I started out, wasn't many black authors. It just wasn't many black authors like you seeing right now. It was only Donald Goins, Iceberg Slim, maybe Robert Mosley. Who else? Mount Robert Mosley, Omar Tyree, Fly Girl. It
Right.
was Eric, Eric Dyson, not Eric Dyson, Eric Jerome Dickey,
Oh, Eric Jerome Dickey. Yeah, yeah,
and,
yeah.
and, and Terry McMillan. Those are the people that were out when I first took
And
this journey.
most of those people were black exploitation. They was out and gone already. The
Yeah.
Donald Goins and all of that, they were already.
The Donald Goins and Iceberg Slim, they were gone.
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
just
they were.
living. They were just living on their laurels, living on the books that they had left down
Charles
and
Avery
recorded.
Harris.
I heard that, but he had very few books. I read one of
They,
his books, and it was a
they were
dope
good.
book, man.
They were good.
I gotta find one of them John A.B. Harris. I gotta find. I'm glad you mentioned that name. I gotta remember that name. Remind me of that name because I read one of his books just once, but it was dope, though.
Because
I never.
he wasn't as raw as they were. He was more like a storyteller, family type of. So it was a breath of fresh air than Dope
Yeah.
Fiend and you know
But one thing I liked about Donald Goins, he always gave it to me raw. You know what I'm saying? All his books. I had a white lady tell me many years ago. She was like, "Yo, Shannon, all your books ended tragically." And I said to her, I said, "You know why? Because people told me I can get money. They never told me I could die doing what I was doing. They never tell you. They leave that part out. Yeah, we gonna get this money. They never said, yo, nigga, you might get killed. That's a
right,
whole
right, right.
you like. Why would I do that for then? You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, like that's why I try to paint those pictures. I try to rip a page out of Donald Goines books with that, like, this shit ain't happiness ever after, man. It's repercussions to the things, to our actions and legalities that we got to face. Like when you in that courtroom, and I can remember, like, you know, I would never go in a courtroom with a bald head, or braids. Back then, they saw you as militant, you know what I'm saying, or
Right.
Afrocentric.
Or locks.
They told you to cut that shit. Old dude
Yeah.
will tell you to cut that. Old dude's like, you cut that. Don't go in there like that.
Yeah.
A lot of old dude told me when I first came in jail, he said, yo, in here, you got to have eyes on all sides. To be alert is to be alive. He says, yo, I was walking in the chow hall in the movement. I'm walking inside. I don't walk in crowds. I'm the first one in there or the last one in there. I'm never walking in that crowd. He said the dude stabbed the dude to the left and to the right of him. He said, after that, I never walk in crowds. So I was blessed to be around like dudes that give me information, survival information like that. And they also would give me these books. Like, so you go from wanting to read the Donald Goineses, and you want to read about Black nationalism, you want to read about, I read about everything that piqued my interest, from religion and how we got here and stuff like that, slavery, Christianity and stuff like that. So, and I would be fed these books by the older dudes. Oh, you like that? I got something else for you. As a man, as a man think of. James Allen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Here go that. So they just giving me, they just feed me, feed me, feed me. So, I'm reading these books. And I mean, let me fast forward back to the kid, and he had written 3 books, and I was just thought I was just smarter than him. That was just how I felt. I'm just saying.
So
But he was my
he wrote 3 books that was under his bed, right?
in prison,
Okay.
in the composition notebooks.
Right.
But everybody was feeling right. So just talking to him, we were like only 2 dudes, a couple few dudes from New York in there, you know what I'm saying? So we actually clicked, but actually I didn't know him, but he was a lot younger when I ran into him last time. When I run into him this time, he's damn near grown. I ran into him, he's probably like about 14, 15 on the street, and he got shot right in front of my face. Everybody thought it was me that got shot because we had the same raincoat on. That was the word in the town, that he got shot. And I hadn't seen him since the day he got shot, right in my face. So, uh, I'm like, he like, yo, where you was at? Like, start, how you start comparing notes. So where you from? Blah, 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 blah. Yo, Sean? That was my alias out there. I was like, yeah. He's like, yo, Divine, blah, blah, blah. So we started kicking it. So we would just talk theories of books, just theories, just writing theories, like, you know what I'm saying, and blah, blah, blah. So we would, so then, I went and embarked on my journey, got my composition pad, you know what I'm saying, and my pencils, and I'm writing in my book, and I show it. It's not yet ready, but I'm so happy to be doing something productive, right?
Right.
I show it to this kid named Ohio. And in this moment, he could have crushed me, but he spared me. He chose to spare me. He said to me, she said, Shannon, get you a dictionary and thesaurus. I did. And I never looked back. I never asked him why he said that, because was understood don't need to be said. There's a couple things in my life that I never questioned. Never, like, we never had a question. Yo, why you say that?
Right.
I did what he told me to do and didn't look back.
Right.
And I got it. I kept saying and the, so I had to find my style, my writing style, my voice. And it doesn't come automatically. Writing is like a grind, man. The more you give yourself to it, the more it's gonna give you back. It's like a baby, man. It's like a baby. So it wakes you up in your sleep. It gives you
Right.
headaches. You know what I'm saying? When you on to something, and so my inspiration for writing Be More Careful was a Donald Goines book. Was Black Girl Lost. I love that book. I love that book. So I said to myself, I'm gonna write me a 1996, 99 Black Girl Lost. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what I set out to do, as I saw it, because I've always saw women in the street that were always beautiful enough to be any man's wife, but they were out there doing whatever they were doing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm busting a sale. I see one of the most beautiful women I ever saw in my life. And for the moment, like, time stopped. It's just me and her on the planet. Nobody else is around. She's coming my way. I know she knows why I'm out there. She knows what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I know what she wants if you're out there. But I still kind of like, nah, can't be.
In a dream, like.
Yeah. So I'm like, damn. I'm like, damn, I could take her home. I could clean her up. Nobody will know. I don't care, yo. You're not a
Dudes have
hustler.
tried that.
Yo,
Dudes have
bro,
tried that.
you're not a hustler if you've never been in that position. You ain't meet the right chick. That's not yet hit rock bottom yet.
Right.
That's just dibbling and dabbling. You haven't hustled it, bro. You haven't been in the you are definitely not on a hand to hand. You're not hand to hand
Right.
if you never that never came to you. So she comes to me. She was like, I'm like, damn. I said, damn. Why are you doing this shit for? She like, what? You gonna tell me this shit or what? I said, fuck it. I said, this'll never work. Sold her drums and never saw it again. Actually, that's a chapter in my book. It's called Fast Women, Slow Thoughts. You know what I'm saying? My autobiography, when I do drop my autobiography.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So that's a chapter in my book and stuff like that. Like, because I've never really written me, like, I mean, probably Never Go Home Again was probably my third book was probably the closest thing to my life at that point. You know
And
what I'm saying? But
what's the title of that?
Never Go Home Again.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And Never Go Home, the title I got from Never Go Home Again was this. I was in a school building in jail, and I'm about to go home. You know how you're not even there physically, but you're not there. Them last couple of days, them last weeks, you're not there, bro. Your mind is a million miles away. You can care less about what's happening in the jail now. You're
Right.
about to go home. You're processing. You're trying to process what's going to be like when you go home. So I'm daydreaming. I'm out of the school building looking at the fences. A whole man come and slide up on me at the school building like, hey, what you thinking about? I said, going home a couple weeks. He like, home? He said, you could never go home again. And then walked away. I wanted to tell him, yo, I was going home and like shortly. All right. I didn't understand what he was talking about until I got home. When I got home, it was
It was
buildings that were there that wasn't there when I left.
right.
It was girls pregnant that wasn't pregnant when I left. That had babies. It was dudes hustling that wasn't in the game when I left. And I was just left to process that shit that night. Yo, my mom was like, it was just like a whole different world. And I thought about that, man,
Now,
what he said.
How many years had elapsed?
No years had elapsed. I went straight home.
No, I'm
So when I
saying
wrote that book,
from the guy telling you this and you going home. How long was your
oh,
stay?
that was years. That was years, but it wasn't lost on me.
Okay.
It happened immediately. Never go home again. The experience happened immediately. Once he told me that, I went home a couple weeks and I saw what he was saying. He was saying, you can go home, but the home you return to will not be the home you left.
Right.
That's what he was saying. And that was just so poignant to me. It touched something. I was like, never go home again. And so that was my joint. And that was my, my little ode to him, man. But he's probably passed away by now. He was a very old man back then. You know what I'm saying? So I can remember just eventually, doing Be More Careful and the struggles I had with that, just like, but I was determined. Like I said, writing is the most ultimate test. It's you against yourself. I know when I want to quit. I know when I don't want to do anything. I can't fake me out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I become successful in jail, because steel sharpens steel. And I become successful. And, as this one kid who used to go to the library, my man She from West Philly. So he goes to the library every day. I know he's a reader. He know I'm a reader. We pass each other books. Yo, check this out. Yo, check this out. This shit fire right here. This shit fire right here. So I know he's gonna read it when I give it to him. And I'm looking for an honest opinion because at this moment I'm feeling myself.
Yeah.
You need validation outside of yourself
Right.
that you that boy. So I said, yo, I got this book I've been writing. I want you to read. He's like, all right, bring it down to my cell. Bring it down to my cell before we lock in. I bet. Bring it down to bring it to himself. The next morning, we hit for breakfast. He comes up with this look in his eye, bro. A wild look in his eye. Like, yo. Like, he wasn't expecting that from me.
Right.
He's like, yo. He said, Shannon, this was his exact words to me. You can get a couple dollars with this. I said, what? He thinks this about me? And he's not my friends? I don't believe you have friends in jail. I believe you have associates, comrades. I don't believe you have friends. We're not friends, we're friendly. There's a difference in that, you know what I'm saying? But some dudes, I've met some valid dudes, but you know, some dudes you gotta leave them right where you found them.
Yeah.
That's on the block and that's in jail. You can't because if you tripping out over a bag of chips, what you gonna do about some bread on the street? You wanna hit me in my head about that? I'm not fucking with you, on. Think about it, bro. It's some petty dudes, bro, in this world. We talking about potato chips and Debbie's and
Oh
little
God.
Debbie's, and you getting bent out of shape about that? Can't be serious, bro. So
Oh God.
up until that point, I wasn't writing for money. I was writing to kill time. And
Right.
that's what I always say about that book. If Be More Careful did for you what it did for me, which is kill some time, then I'm eternally grateful for that. Because that's what it did for me. It was never like, yo, I want to be best. I wanted to be New York Times bestseller. I wanted to be the best me I could be. I wanted to succeed. I wanted to see something through. I felt that everything in my life up until that point wasn't a good drug dealer. I was in jail. That was proof of that.
Yeah.
People think, yo, bro, my man once told me, he said, I reference a lot of dudes, I reference a lot of people because I am a combination of all those people I've ever met. They're good qualities. I probably embody those. The bullshit is on me. But my man once told me, he said, Joe, he said, Shannon, if we make $100,000 and nobody gets locked up, we won. If we make 1 million and 3 people get locked up, we lost. And it's true. Think about it. The object is not to get locked up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we're dealing with something. You can get your girl. You can get a new girl. You can get a new car. You can get another house. You can't get no time back. You can't buy it. Time is constantly moving, and when you're in jail, you're just stagnant. I figured out when I was in jail, you only can talk about 2 things: what you're gonna do or what you did, because it's stagnant in there for you. Life is going on for the people on the outside. Those are the only 2 things you can talk about on the phone. Unless you got kids, then that's a different dynamic inside of that. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I
That
went to
makes
jail.
it
I didn't
even
have no
more
kids,
stressful.
huh?
And that makes it even more stressful.
Yeah, I never. I was always glad I never had no kids. Man, there was certain things like, and I would see dudes in jail. I was asking like, "Yo, was you there when your kids was born?" They would be like, "No." I was like, "What?" And from that moment, I promised myself that I'm gonna be there when my kids are born, and I was. I took that woman to the hospital. I know I was there 5 something and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. NYU. So I promised I saw that baby come out the womb. Cut that umbilical cord. I was there, bro. That's something I promised myself. I would never be like those kids I ran into in the system. You know what I'm saying? And so at that time, like I said, I failed so much that I knew this was my moment. Once my man validated that I was onto something, I can remember writing my father, telling him, I said, "Yo, I'm onto something. I need a word processor." He sent it to me. I bought it. I said, "That's the best $100 you ever invested in your fucking life,
Hmm.
bro." I got that word processor. I became the talk of the jail.
You had a Smith
Like,
Corona?
huh?
You had a Smith Corona?
Yeah, Smith Corona. Word pro. You put all the shit and just let that shit just.
Yeah, I had one.
Yo. My cellmate used to be mad at me, but he was cool with it though. You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes who, when you try to be successful, because you don't meet people, that jail thing, sometimes it's just like wearing like on me. Like it's like because your ID number older than mine, you feel like you better than me.
Right.
Nigga, we in the same place. Dude's mad at you because you going home. I'm like, yo, dogs, if you came when I came and you got the same time that I got, you can leave when I leave.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just a whole bunch of, jail politics, dudes trying to be something. I never came to jail to be nobody, bro. Never. I don't want to, like, I never hung with the tough guys. I hung with the funny dudes. I was laughing my time away. Yo, and people even see that, they'll think that, yo, you don't get busy or whatever. And they'll be like, yo, you pretty happy to be in jail? I'm like, nah, bro. I just know there's workplaces I can be. How about that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I just always try to always try to, like, oh, nigga, you got 5 years, but that nigga right there got 25. He got life. He not never coming home. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Always try to justify, like, you know, for not being mad with myself. And like, yo, because the shit I got away with would have put me underneath the jail. Everything they said I did, and more. So, do you cop or take it to trial, knowing that you did it? I always cut my losses, bro. You know what I'm saying? If I
Right.
couldn't beat it at suppression hearing, yo, bro, what you got for me? Let's talk. I remember one time, one time they came to me like, yo, we got a what? 2 to 4. If I went to court, I had a 5 to 10. So you got 2 to 4 for you right now. It was lunchtime. Like, yo, give us your answer when we come back from lunch. I was like, what? So like it was just things like that. Like that jurisdiction is just a lot of things going on. It's a lot of factors that factor in. It's just a conviction rate. Your body, you know what I'm saying. Your body who becomes a number in that system, and even being in that system, we be thinking that yo, we coming home. It's not necessarily you don't necessarily come home. I've seen people come home in boxes and in boxes. They prop you up a control room. You like because they ask you. They say, yo, in case of emergency, who do you want us to contact? You never think they're gonna need that information, bro. Who thought that when you go through DOC, when you go to the Department of Correction, when they ask you your blood, when you going all, you getting all your blood types and all that type of shit done and getting all the tests, you know what I'm saying? And you say, yo, because of emergency, who you wants to contact? You just never think they're gonna need that information. I've seen a kid, they did need that information. I've seen a kid die in a compound. I seen a helicopter land on a compound and take a kid to shock trauma. Guess what? Guess why?
You got
Guess
stabbed?
why? He got stabbed. But guess what they were arguing over? Who
Some
was
cigarette?
better? Who was
Some meth?
better? Who was better? Dominique Wilkins or Michael Jordan? Yo. So in jail, something little can become something major. Quick. Nigga, I don't like you anyway. Fuck you. What you say? You see how that goes? You know how that goes better, maybe more so than I. You know what I'm saying? So being in that situation, like I said, I failed and I knew this was my moment. I said I was gonna pour everything I got into this moment. You know what I'm saying? I said because I said to myself, I'm gonna give this the same effort and energy I gave the street and see where it takes me. Cause my mother used to always tell me, Shannon, all you want to do is eat, sleep, and run the street. And that's what I did, bro. So I poured into it. I came out with this book, and people loved it. I was received first by the prisons. Still sharp and still. And once they became my first editors. You know what I'm saying? They was so wanted to tear you down so bad. But oh, a nine got 18 shots in it. Okay, thank you. You missed the period right there. Okay, thank you. Because when you sit on something for so long, bro, you you become immune to your faults, to your mistakes. You can't even see them. It's right in front of you, but you can't even see them
Right.
because you basking in it. But somebody who comes over looking over your shoulder, oh no, they can see that. They can see all type of mistakes you made. Because that's what it takes from the book. You own it every fucking day. You eat it, live it, breathe it. Like you embody those characters. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
for me, a piece of me goes into every character I make. My likes and dislikes become to play out on paper. You just don't know me well enough to say it. You know what I'm saying? To see it or say it. But you put a little bit of yourself in everything.
Let me ask you something about that. When you are constructing a book, do you piece the characters together first and their characteristics, or do you just let it flow as it come along? You understand what I'm saying?
That's funny because I do jot down certain things about the person. You know what I'm saying? Arrogant, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Stuff I think, man. And sometimes they take on the life of their own.
Right.
Even while I do that. But sometimes I have these little notes that I have before I write. So I don't know the story all the way yet. But I'm asking myself a series of whys. If you ask yourself enough whys, you will have your story. Why is she doing this? Why is she hanging with them? Why are they going here? Why? And you can answer those whys, you got your story. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So for me, I'm self-taught. Like I just had to figure that shit out, bro. And like I said, I spent days. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I never wanted something so bad in my life. And when I want something, I go at it like that. Like those dudes in jail that could write circles around me, but they ain't wanted how I wanted. Their desire wasn't what I wanted. They wasn't disciplined how I disciplined myself. They wanted to still be in the yard lifting weights and spinning the track talking about street shit, you know what I'm saying? And with the next bus, every new inmate, they want to kick it in with them, you know what I'm saying? When I was I was locking in, writing my book. They want to talk about writing books, but I was locking in, writing my book. And like where they saw something that was I saw opportunity. Because opportunity comes disguised as work a lot of times, bro. That's more than just a saying, bro. What people don't see, people sometimes people see problems, people see opportunity to solve that problem.
Right.
So when I looked out there, I saw like we said, Donald Goins and what you call it have been dead. Iceberg Slim have been dead all these years. I saw Terry Woods and I saw Sister Soldier. They only had one book each. I mean, they made their mark with their first
They
books, with True to the
bleed
Game and
up.
Close
Yeah.
Whatever. But when I read these books, I said to myself, yo, this is my life. I live this shit. As my mother once said, eat, sleep, run the streets. This. All right, I got it. Came up with my title, and then I just started writing, man. I just didn't know where I was going with it, and it just took on a life of its own, man. Like it was really like taking on a life of its own. Like, damn, like how am I gonna get out of this realistically? Because it's not the point is not getting your character out of something just to get her out of something or him. It's to get them out of it realistically. You have to have characters that's likable or hate. Even if they loved or they hated, it doesn't matter because the reader's invested
I'm gonna ask you
and
something else.
they have to care. If nobody cares, if the stakes, if there are no stakes in that book, if she goes left, this happens, she goes right, that happens, and if there's none of that, then why do people care? It's nothing for them to care about. But go ahead, ask your question.
Be more careful because you wrote more than one book. So be more careful is your first production, right?
Yeah.
All right. When you were writing Be More Careful, were you plot driven or action driven?
Oh, I didn't even know enough about plot
Yeah, yeah.
to tell you to be honest, but I knew this. I wanted like be more careful. The first chapter. I wanted to give you something like it was like an appetizer. The first chapter is an appetizer. So I give you something to eat. Now you're not looking for your food. Now you're not every time the waiter comes that oh that's my food. You're not looking. I give you some action, and I'm just buying time to tell my story
All right.
because I'm a storyteller. I come from them dudes on the block who told me stories. I'm just written story. They were verbal, oral storytellers. I could write it. So I had to learn about pace. I had to read about pace, plot, setting,
Right.
plot, subplot. You know what I'm saying? So I can be more careful. The plot was, dude had a thing for New Yorkers. Girl robs a boy. He wants revenge. She's with a New Yorker, so he wants everything around her dead. But the subplot was her friend was her sister,
Right.
and they didn't even
And
know
they
it.
didn't know. Right.
So you know what I'm saying. So sometimes, yeah. In my book, like her past is like a stray mutt that comes back to bite her in the butt. Her robbing that dude, thinking that he got all this gang of time, but it's something called a pill bond. I've seen dudes go home on the pill bonds. Hit the street on the pill bond. They think you finished, but you appealing it and you get a bond based on your appeal, and you right back on the street fighting that case from the street. Yeah,
Hmm.
you got that time, but you appealed it. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I got him come home on a pill bond. You know what I'm saying? And because a lot of times, we both know strange things happen in the legal system. Dudes you think finished ain't finished.
Right.
He's done. Yeah, he ain't never coming home. He's home. Never ain't. Yo, forever ain't as long as it used to be.
Right
That's
about
what I
that.
tell people. Like, yo, girl told me I love you forever. I said, shit, I guess forever ain't as long as it used to be.
Forever got an expiration date.
Yo, and you gotta laugh at those things right now. Because and that's what I learned in prison. You know, to laugh to keep from crying, bro.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? 50 Cent said the best is wet pillows in prison. People cry in the dark because they did do in the day. Niggas are crushing their heart. Like you can't, like you gotta when that doors pop, you gotta be, you gotta be tough every day in jail.
Yeah.
That shit gets tiring, bro. You can't show a nigga. Niggas is like vultures. You can't show a nigga ounce of weakness.
What happens is that you have to kill your emotions. You have to actually make yourself subhuman in a sense in order to deaden your emotions so that you won't reveal those and seem as being weak.
Yeah, you have to pretend that because the dudes
Right.
told me in jail, like, yo, I deal with men. I don't deal with emotions. You could take those emotions and throw them over the gate, let the guard mail them home. You know what I'm saying? Let the guard deal with men right here. And that shit be sounding good, man. But I seen big, cock strong diesel break down and crying, bro. Like, yo, I'm like, I gotta back up out this nigga. This is my man. But what can I tell him in that moment?
Right.
What? I have to wait for him to come to me. Like, yo, you was good, bro. I didn't mean to come in your cell like that. But you know how you fuck with a dude, and you just see this nigga bawling, like crying, like you've never seen your man cry before. And you find out later that his mom's died.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And those are the things that that happen in the penitentiary system. Whether like people losing their lives or getting cut, stabbed, or those type of things that happen, man. It's survival, bro. It becomes survival. Like you know what I'm saying? They say jail is the second highest institute of learning on the face of this earth. There's so much shit going on in jail, man.
I
It's
learned
just
a lot. I learned a
yeah.
lot.
I believe so, man. Like and even when you out of town, being out of town, like we had you got to form these alliances and these allegiance with other dudes from New York. You might not even necessarily like.
Right.
Imagine that, because you got to look at it like this: if it's him today, it's you tomorrow. They playing
Right.
divine conquer, so they like yo New York. What's up? What's up with your man? And I got to answer that question as tough as I possibly can. What you mean what's up with my man?
Right.
Nah, but just okay. Because they want to see where you at. Well, is this your man? It's really your man? You gonna go out with him? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Or can we get him? That's what he's asking me. Can he get him? When he says that, what's up with your man? Can I get him? You know what I'm saying? So shit like that, man. But so back to the book. So the book takes off. I was able to I started writing people. I started writing book publishers from jail. Like I don't have like college degrees or even graduated from high school, but I have my intelligence, my natural intelligence, my intellect and my wits exceed people's book smarts. My common sense. My common sense is off the chart. My deduction, my deductive reasoning is off the chart. So I said, yo, Every time I open the book, it would be the address for the book in the book. I'm like, oh, okay. I used to read album covers as a kid, and that's how I knew. I applied that same strategy. I used to read Michael Jackson's album cover and be like, yo, oh, Michael Jackson didn't write this song. Oh, but on that album cover, it would be Columbia Records on it. Hmm. I applied the same thing to a book. There it was. I would write these people and ask them certain things. It was just write them, and they would send me back information like, "Yo, we don't accept unsolicited manuscripts."
Right.
Okay, well now I know. I wrote all of them. Holloway House, Donald Goins was published, all of them, and then I saw Terry Woods' address in the Fed magazine my friend had before they got banned. So I said to him, "Let me get that book back." You know, we keep magazines in prison, as you know, because you never know the next day you're gonna get locked down. we'll be rereading that joint, you know what I'm saying, and pass it to the next, use it to barter goods with, whatever, you know what I'm saying. So what I'm about to say. So I see her address and I write the address and I write to her. And by that time I'm highly confident because the jails told me I got it and they don't lie.
Right.
If you got it, if you don't got it, they will gladly tell you. And if you do got it, they'll tell you that too. And that's what I love about jail. Like still sharp still, they not gonna lie to me. They not. They did not lie to me. So I write Terry Woods, and to my surprise, she writes me back. You know, I outline the book. I do a synopsis and a chapter breakdown. What she would find in each chapter. And how did I find out about all of that? I went to the library in the prison, and it was a writing. I think the writer's manual or something like that. I forgot the name of the book. It's published every year, and they told me these things. So I believe if I could eye it, I could do it. Like some people are good at eyeing drugs and can tell you, oh, that's a quarter right there. That
Right.
let me see an example of what I got to do, and I can figure it out and make it my own. I
Have you
take it
ever
and make it
looked
my
at the Writer's Digest
that.
magazines?
I think that might have been it or something like
'Cause
that.
that's where I learned a lot from.
Something a thick manual. So bam. So I sent her a query letter, cover letter, chapter breakdown. She's piqued her interest. I haven't sent the book yet because I'm not knowing if I'm going to hit anything. I'm not knowing if I'm going to if this PO box is actually working. You know what I'm saying? And it did. So it come. I get a couple days later. I get a you know letter underneath my. I'm like, oh shit, Terry Woods, heart pattering and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, and she like, yo, send your book with a self-addressed envelope. I said, my book is going one way. In my mind, that's what I thought. My book is going one way from me to you. You feel what I'm saying? Because I had that confidence. I didn't send a self-addressed envelope. I just sent her the manuscript.
Because it's not coming back.
It's not coming back to me. I knew it
Right.
was going to fly. I knew I was ready for the world. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I got past these negative motherfuckers. I knew that the world is easy. The world is easy. And that's why I'm just so happy I started because yo, people want you to sugarcoat stuff. They want you to they want you to hold their hand through this stuff like ain't nobody hold my hand through this stuff. This thing could have ended at any point in time in that prison yard. I told dudes I was writing a book. They told me we're gonna have a book signing in the prison yard. We're gonna sign over this garbage and throw it in that garbage. Yo, could you imagine how crushed I was? I, and, and once again, dog, I laughed to keep from crying.
Right, right.
But
Some
my thing
people
was
it just take
this. And I could have fought them niggas. I could have fought some of them. I probably could have beat half of them niggas, but like I'd have been showing my emotion.
right.
I'm gonna be honest. I couldn't beat all of them. Probably wouldn't won all of the fights, but I'd have won a good
That,
deal of them.
that was a good one.
They would have been like, "Yeah, nigga, you all sensitive ass nigga." There. Like you know, they gave me the business in the jail. You know what I'm saying? So this nigga's all sensitive. Watch what you say to that nigga. So, but my thing was, so that's why I say every dream is not to be shared by everybody, man. God gave you the dream, bro. Dreams are very fragile things. They can go this way. They can succeed. This is as easy as they can fail. They probably can fail easier than they can see. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta guard your thoughts, man. and I didn't do a good job. I shared it with the wrong people, and it was a learning lesson. And you looking back on it, we laugh at it, but when you in the moments, bro,
Yeah, yeah.
that shit painful, bro.
Let me ask you
And
something. Go ahead, finish that, and I'll ask you after.
when you in that moment, man, it's so painful. You like, yo, like who are these guys? Who are you to tell me what I'm gonna be? That's between me and my God. Whatever I believe, bro. What I'm gonna be is not between me and you, not between me and no man. You feel what I'm saying? So it just motivated me. I'm gonna show you. Maybe I needed that.
Right.
Where would I be without that? If he hadn't laughed at me. And people always like, yo, he don't believe in my dream. You're not supposed to. That's why it's your dream. You feel me?
Right.
It's your dream. Nobody supposed to believe in your dream but you.
Now, when you when Terry Woods asked you to send her your manuscript, did you tell your father? And if you did, what was his reaction?
I was way ahead of that. I gave him power of attorney by that time. I went to the library, gave him power of attorney. He actually signed my contract when the deal was. I already had like a poor man's copyright. I already researched that out, and I just was confident in what was going to happen for me. You know what I'm saying?
So, a poor man's copyright, you mailed it to yourself and didn't open it.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm just for anyone who's listening, I want them to know what this is.
Yeah. So and that's legally binding. So actually, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't have it copyrighted the other way. Yeah.
Right at
You know what I'm
the
saying? Yeah, House of Library of Congress.
Library of
Didn't have
Congress.
it.
Yeah.
So actually, she did it. And actually, when I had the lawsuit, we had to get that shit straightened out because she did it in her name type shit or her mother's name, some weird shit that wasn't in my name. It wasn't what it was supposed to be. That was supposed to be a work for hire, if anything. You know. So anyway, she called me this morning. I had a conversation with her this morning.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so did the book, and you know what I'm saying. My father signed the deal. Like his initial uh, 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 observation of her was don't trust her. That's what he told me.
Hey, he's intuitive.
Yeah, my father's very good judge of character, and I mean, it wound up like he wound up being right to a certain extent. We wound up in civil court. You know what I'm saying? So he wound up being right to, but like I say this about Terry Woods. Like I gotta say this. Where would I be without her? Taking
Right.
a chance on a dude from jail.
Right.
But she has to look herself in the mirror and say this about me. Where would she be without me? She had two of the top five all-time novels in urban history, urban book history. Hers and mine. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Easily top 10, definitely top 10. Top five debatable. But I put my book up against any book at any time. Because of, what I was feeling in desperation, the sense of desperation and how it came out on how I poured into that paper. How it came out. So I'll put Be More Careful against any book, any in that genre. Sister Soldiers, anybody, Terry Woods, anybody. I don't care. Like when you compete and you know what I'm saying, you want to be looked at as the best. And if you're not trying to be the best, what are you trying to be?
At that time, and this is only my belief. I could be wrong. Um, I believe that that book, Be More Careful. I got to say, true to the game as well. But I'm saying more so yours. Gave birth to a
To a
bunch
genre.
of yeah, because your thing is different because you were inside,
Yeah.
and
So
then you gave hope to a bunch of people, myself
yo,
included. I wrote two novels and published it while I was locked up because of you, and you
but
had nothing to do with it. So
this is what I
I'm
say.
tipping my hat to you,
This is what I always say. This is the credit. You just gave me credit, but I never get this credit. I gave hope to the hopeless. Niggas ain't know you could do that.
bruh.
Like I was the first one to do it. Like I didn't have an example to, but I had to be the example. I had to write the book I wanted to read.
Bruh.
That's what I wrote. What I wanted to read. You know what I'm saying? And because many times when we land in those places, we just think life is over for us. And I showed you this. It's life after that. Because I lived a beautiful life after that. especially after writing that book. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't go with no expectation of what it was going to do, but I knew it was going to do something. I knew it was going to be big. You know what I'm saying? I felt like Jay-Z, man, when on one of his videos, and he was like, "Yo, they're gonna get you, they're gonna flip you, they're gonna turn you." And he was like, "I take my chances."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I took my chances and went up against, and sometimes it ain't who you know, it's what you know is timing. And my timing could have been better when I came out of prison. Sister Soldier had a 5-year run. Tubby Woods had like a 4-year run. They didn't really put nothing out off, and I became the third dude. You can read those books so many times. You got something else like this? Yeah, be more careful. And them joints started flying off the shelf like hotcakes, man. And it was just a whole bunch of stuff with that. People impersonating me. I'm like, God damn, this mother. My cousin called me. Was you on 34th Street this morning? I'm like, nah, I'm home. Why? Somebody was on the train selling your book. I said, ain't this, yo? I said, ain't this something? I remember when I didn't want to be me. Now I got motherfuckers impersonating me. It's crazy. Dog, I had cases out my ass and like they looking for me. I gotta keep doing what I'm doing to maintain my lifestyle. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, bro, I was to be sick about that. People impersonate me, but it came with the terrorism. It's a lot of little things like when the internet first started and they were writing every books about be more careful, everybody loving me. Internet, some vicious motherfuckers on the internet. Motherfucker was like, yo, let's say no, this is bullshit. This is not literature. I was like, damn, I was crushed. Then I had to think about it. I said, well, obviously he thought he read it, so he has a right to his opinion on it.
Right.
If he read it, he bought it. I won.
Right.
But my thing was like, nigga, I could be in your house right now, robbing your crib, man. I'm doing something positive. This is what I get. But it's people are opinionated. And people are openly to say whatever they want when they know you can't reach them. That's why people are so vicious on the internet, the IGs, the Facebooks, and leaving these comments because there's no repercussions. They get to say whatever they want to say to whoever they want to say it to. And not to say that hitting somebody in the face is right or wrong, but sometimes they need it though, because you get a false perception of you could think you could run through life and talk to anybody the way you want. You can't do that. Something's bound to happen. Maybe not from me, but somebody else.
Let me ask you something. Success. How did you handle it? And if you could do it over, would you change the way you handled it?
I don't. Let me just say this: I don't live my life with regrets. I don't. I try not to regret anything I do, like because whether it was a girl, a car, or whatever it was, it's something I wanted at one point in time. So why I regret it now? Like
Okay, so
people give a girl like I should have never got with that. You wanted it at one
did
point
you
in
do
time.
that? Did you splurge?
I did a lot of things, man. I did a lot of things. I did a lot of cheating. I was like, my game became like I never had a problem with dudes in the hood about no girls because I'm not fucking the same girls you fucking. My chicks come from different places, not around here. So me and you ain't got no problem. We're not in competition with the same girls.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My shit was internet. My shit was national, bro. I'm flying chicks in and out type shit. Going out to Chicago. I was wild. I was wild. Cause after doing that last, I did 11. So after doing that last 5, it was like, you sowing your wild oats. Yeah, I had came home and bam, had a kid. It seemed like that happened that fast. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't. It took me about a year, some change. Had a kid. Bam. Then I had another one. Bam. But I wanted to have my kids back to back to the same person that was important to me. Something my mother told me. She was like, "Yo, Shannon, I gave you one father." You understand what I'm saying? So to know somebody, you gotta know their parents, because that's where we get that shit from. But just something she drilled into my head. Another thing my father drilled into my head was like, "Yo, Shannon, don't get no already made family." But at that time I was 30 years old. Like chicks had kids.
Right.
Even a younger chick that I had kids, she had a kid. So you know what I'm saying. So you dealing with the baby father. That's another funny story. But this dude thought he was super blood, right? Yo, he was. I'm I'm such and such. I said, "What's your name? Where you from?" I was like, "Nigga, get out my face. Ain't no gangsters come out of there. Get out of there." You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm such and such. Yo, so I said hi. Hey, Joey Martin. Yo, anyway, yes, I'm such and such, and I'm this, and dudes is coming at my head now, like, cause they think I'm some guy who went away to college to learn how to write. Like, they don't know I'm the street guy. I'm street first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they just thinking that they gonna try you. Oh, she only want him because he this dude is pulling every trick in the book. He is I'm like homeboy. He's calling my phone. When he called my phone, that's why I drew the line. I was like, homeboy, check this out. You don't know me to like me or dislike me. I said for 5 years or however long you was with your girl, I didn't know her. I said if you were doing whichever thing you supposed to be doing, there is no me. I don't exist. So your beef is not with me. Your beef is with you.
Right. You messed up.
Yeah. So she had been taking them back. It's been a cycle for them to break up, make up, but this time she was serious. And so even then, like I watch, and I seen this nigga, he was just crying on the phone, blah, blah. Oh, I said, yo, whenever it's my goal, that ain't gonna be me, bro. I ain't going on like that. I watch. Cause the same how you meet a girl, I believe the same way you meet her, the same way you gonna lose her. If I met you in a club, I can lose you to the club. If I pulled you from somebody could pull you from me.
Right.
Yeah, but anyway, you know what I'm saying? So I don't regret that. And I say this, and I said this a lot of times. To change one thing, sometimes might be able to change everything. Just me not having that one friend, me not being on that block, doing what I wasn't supposed to be doing. Just one element of my life. Sure, it was things I could have did better, but like I don't regret those type of things because they make you who your mistakes make you who you are.
I get it. It's like the domino effect. It's like taking away a domino.
Yeah, we don't know if that other domino's going to touch. They're going to connect now.
Right.
So I never lived my life like that. Like, oh nah, man. I take the wins and I take the L's with the wins, bro. That's
Now,
it. But I got to get ready to get up out of here because I got to go get me a shape up real quick.
all right.
He
Well,
might be.
you said you almost got kidnapped. I wanted you to say something.
All right, I can talk about that. I can talk about. He said, I want you to talk about that. Okay. So I'm in this car accident, right? Boom, got my money from my living it up. Ooh, dude, got this truck. You know what I'm saying? Probably nobody really knows this story either, so it's crazy. So I meet this girl at the car accident. The people at the car accident introduced me to this girl, like the nurses and shit. So whatever. But apparently she knew some niggas too. So she like, so I'm up on Wendy Williams one day, you know what I'm saying? Flexing on Wendy Williams. So Wendy would take a couple of 100,000 you got and make you a millionaire. I was a millionaire by the time I left that show. This girl's blowing up my phone. Yo, what's up? I wanna get with you. And I'm like, she's talking crazy. She's talking reckless. I'm like, yo, come on, man. Like, we ain't even kiss. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo. But one day I'm with her in the truck with her. She's like, yo, can I get some money for my nails and shit? I don't like the way she asked. So I like to get I threw it at her. But the way she looked at me, bro. The way she looked at me, bro. If it was a movie, it was like, was one of them looks like, yo, bro. I just don't ask me how I knew. From that look, I knew it was going to be a problem. Okay, so when you're being followed, you don't know you're being followed if you're not looking for it. You go about your day, your mom's house, babysitter, your crib. Niggas just following me. They followed me from me being greedy, trying to get some more money, had money, trying to do some illegal shit, get some more money with my truck, some insurance shit. Anyway, niggas follow me, right? So now they know everything about me, right? I done took them everywhere. It's like putting a poison in a mouse trap. You know what I'm saying? And the mouse takes that poison back to its hole. So they follow me, right? Follow me, and I don't even know. So one day, so my brother was like, "Yo, Shannon, like, you gonna park a $60,000 truck uh, on the streets of New York?" You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, bro, you gotta put that somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, whatever, right? so, so one day I cut off. I had a faulty alarm on my truck. I never got it fixed though. I had an air horn tied to that alarm. So this one particular morning, it was just giving me just used to wake up in the middle of the night. You had one of them joints that beep you. Your car beeps you. You had it on your key holder.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So it would tell you your car alarm was going off too. You didn't have to hear it. It would beep you even if you didn't hear it. So this particular day, I deactivated my alarm. Like, who cuts off the alarm in New York City? Who deactivates the alarm in New York City?
Right.
I did. So I come out to take my daughter to the babysitter, and I hit I hit the manual key thing, and I hit like ching. It doesn't sound right. You know the sounds of your car. It doesn't like boom, like a ching. I look, and my lock cylinder is out. Hold on. Yo, I look, and my lock cylinder is out, right? And I ain't think nothing of it. Okay. I don't know how I knew. When did I find out? So this girl, she would be like, "Yo, you coming to? Where you at?" I'm just feeding the information like an asshole. I'm in Jersey. Who you with? By myself. You coming to my house? Yeah, I'll be there. Would never go. I just had a feeling. Like something would tell me from going. Like I wasn't being a thirst. He had the niggas in the house waiting for me.
Wow.
Think about it. So now my thing was this: like, what you think I got 10,000 in the mattress? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
The bank told. So what you gonna do? You gonna either gonna take my daughter or you gonna walk me to the bank 10 days in a row to get to drain this account.
Right. Because you can only withdraw.
So much. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. So my man was a killer when when he got wind of it. He was like, "Yo, let me ask you a question." I said, "What?" He said, "You think them niggas gonna let you live?" You knew who they was. And I said, "I didn't think about it like that." But anyway, so a wise man once told me, "If you want peace, prepare for war." So I did. When I was up, or while I was still up at the time, I was, gathering joints. I was getting joints on the street. Yo, let me get that. I buy that from you. Whatever it was, I buy it. You know what I'm saying? So I was well protected myself, especially in my crib. My thing was like, yo, he'll become trying to get in my crib. I got these babies here. I got my baby in here, bro. I'm gonna send you to your maker. You know what I'm saying? If you're on the other side of this door, you know what I'm saying? So boom. So one day I'm in the crib. I was supposed to go to Chicago the next morning on a tour. One day I'm in the crib and uh I just get this inclination in my mind and it says to me, yo, look at your back window. I don't hear nothing, bro. God jumped in my head. Look at your back window. I go like that, and I see a motherfucker on a fire escape. I always knew that window was gonna give me a problem. It was the fire. It was a fire escape by the second floor on the second floor window. I always knew when I moved in. I was like told my father, like, "Can we?" He said, "Yes, illegal to block that shit off." So boom. Why the fuck would I care about that? All the illegal shit I did in my life, right? So I'm worried about a fire escape. So I says to my girl at the time, I say, yo, throw me my gun. But as I say it, I run for it. Go get it. It has something mean with a beam on it. Go to the back window, he's gone. Throw up the kitchen window. Niggas is hiding. Niggas is hiding underneath the cars and all that. I can't see, but so I don't have that fifth floor view. You can see everything.
Right.
I'm only on the second floor. I only see but so much.
Right.
Niggas is hiding underneath cars. So I go sit back down and I hear two cars closing slowly. Doom, doom. They pull off in opposite directions. By this time, My girlfriend gets up with my daughter. She like, yo, what's going on? I'm like, yo, dude just try to get up in here. Yo, you believe me? And she was like, I don't know what to believe. I said, what? I said, she said, I don't know what to believe. You scared me with that gun. I said, oh, I'm scaring you with this gun? What they would have did with theirs. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
So your senses is like a knife. The more you use them, the sharper they become. The less you use them, the duller they become until you get got. I wasn't on the streets no more. I had no need for my street senses, but the streets was coming to my front door now.
right.
Bam. So this is kind of a long story. We gotta abbreviate this shit a little bit. So I tell my brother. So I told my father. I told my brother. I made a mistake. I made a mistake of telling my father and one of my brothers. I told my oldest brother because he was a street dude at one point in time, so he could relate to this. So I told my father. He's like, "Yo, maybe it's the rims on your car." I'm like, "What?" I remember you had rims on your car.
Right, yeah. That don't bring everybody to the house.
Yo, they were just talking just some senseless stuff. I said, "Yo, you can never if somebody's not street, you can never tell them the politics and the legalities of the street. They're just not going to understand. It's just not going to compute with them. You're going to talk to your face is blue and they still not going to get it. So I'm like, damn, all right, okay. So one day, so now I know you on me, right? So one day, I still don't know where it's coming from. So the girl calling me, she's still getting her little information from me and shit. So everybody I told that story to, they like, yo, so I'm gonna get them. They like, yeah, get them. So okay, they try to come get me again outside the crib. It's a car, it's a van parked really across from my van. It's like Christmas time. I'm going down Southall Book Signing. Now, I have my clothes in a garbage bag and it's dead cold. You know, I'm on the cold winter nights, it's dead, still like about 5, 6 o'clock. So it's right down the block from your grandmother. I lived on Oakley, right down the block from your grandmother's house, right?
Okay, right around the corner.
Yeah, exactly. Down the block from where I lived at, right? From where my parents lived at. So I hear, I had that faulty alarm on there, right? So I used to have to take a lighter and so my receiver could catch the transmission from my box on my thing. So when I come out, open my door, my fucking alarm is going crazy with the air horn, wah, 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 and it's echoing off the buildings and it's cold, so it's just carrying. And in the nighttime, all alarms sound alike. You gonna look out your window. So when I was walking to my car, I heard like a shuffle of the feet. What the fuck was that? Again, I'm ignoring my senses. I heard it, but I act like I didn't hear it. So I get in the car. They can't come get me because my alarm is going crazy. I ain't have nothing on me. I was naked. Baby upstairs. So she like, you going, if you leave and take me to my mother's house in the projects, and I just, when you come back, where we gonna be at? I like that. So instead of me just backing up to the house and doing it and getting it, I go around the block. And when I return from around that block, my truck's at a buck 60 on the dash. Whew, he must have thought I saw him. The lights come on and he take off. Damn, sorry to hear that, sis. Yo, so the lights come on and he take off. I'm like, yo, I can catch that in this. So I'm up
Hmm.
we like over there by the gas station, 222nd, Eastchester, 22nd and Eastchester Road.
Right,
So I can see the dude like fidgeting in the car, like, looking in his mirrors because he kept one of them vans you couldn't see through all the way through. So he had to use his rear view mirrors.
right.
So I'm looking at him. I don't got some say, yo, Shannon, I ain't trying to get shot. I don't got my gun on me, right? Some say, yo, Shannon, your brother police, right down the tag. You know, they chasing these niggas. That's what I do. I go back to the crib, go get the joint, get my kid, take it to her mother's house. But before I leave New York, I do a circle around the area. When I do a circle around the area, I'm up on Eastchester Road and like 221st. where that little V is at. Needham, right there by that
Right.
light. I see another van. When I pull up to that, it just makes two lefts from a parking position. I find that, oh, I'm like, what the fuck? Left. And he's gone. He's going back down Needham. My street was Oakley. I make the left on that one. Here I see this dude coming down my block. I got the gun. I'm like, yo, I'm not really sure if it was. I'm gonna give him the business, but I said I'm not really sure. I can't do that if I'm not really sure. But I follow that van and write that shit down. Give it to my brother. Like a day or two later, he run the place. He like, yo, that van was from 72nd Street, which was the first van. I said, oh, that was the stolen van. They used that to come get me. The second van, he told me where it was at. I went around there. I saw the van parked right where he said it was going, right at the address said it was going to be. My man lived around there. I said to my man, I said, what's up with these niggas around here? He said, yo, they be running up in houses. Got him. So that was the story. There's a little bit more to it, but I got to get up out of here because my barber just texted me. We'd have to have a part 2.
Yeah, we got to, because we didn't get to the movie.
Yo, we have a part 2 next week though. We do the part 2 next week.
All right.
But ain't nobody gonna listen. This is an hour and 40 minutes, bro. We've been on here for a long time.
That's all right, man. It's all good.
Yeah.
You have a good night. I appreciate it.
Hit me up during the weekend. We're gonna do it again.
All right, bro. You be safe. I gotta walk the
Right.
dog. Come on, princess.
Right.
Come on.
Later.
Y'all be safe. Oh, say bye. Say bye. Bye.